Happy Sunday, everybody. This one is going to be a reflection versus a rant here. I'm going to try and keep it short. I'm going to call it right brain, left brain, as in regards to horses. When I was a kid, my mom was an artist, and she got this book, and they used it in the class that she was taking. It was called Drawing with the Right Side of the Brain. And in the premise of the book, it kind of talked about how your left brain sees an image versus how your right brain sees an image. And so one of the exercises in the book that they had us do was to take an image. I think if I remember right, it was a man sitting in a chair. And we were to take this drawing of a man sitting in a chair, and we were to turn it upside down, so it wasn't that, so our brain would not jump to the conclusions of, oh, that's a man sitting in a chair, and we would actually see it as lines and shapes and angles and stuff. And so then we would draw it and then turn it right side up at the end and see how good we did. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And you wouldn't notice it so much also if you were right or left-handed, right? So if you've ever carved anything or done any sort of sculpture work, you'll know that you're carving and shaping with your right hand, and then you shift to the left side of the object, and you're trying to make the same cuts to the left hand and mirror the right hand side. So you're trying to carve a face or something like that. And I was out on the beach, and this is a little bit ago, but it's made a profound difference in the way I kind of look at things. So I took my horse to Rincon Beach. Beautiful place. If you've ever wanted to or dreamed of riding your own horse on the beach and you live in Southern California, that's a place where you can do it. And so we unloaded the horses, and none of it had ever been to, they'd never been to the beach before, and they'd never seen ocean. And so, usually you're walking into, say, a puddle like this one, and it's confined to a boundary, and you're stepping into it, right? Looks like someone left the lead line behind when they were trying to get a horse across. And on a creek, it's still confined to a boundary, like you are getting into the creek, right? Whether the water's flowing, at any speed or not, you're still approaching it, and the horse has a chance to, create the action of getting his own feet wet. Now, when you go on the beach, you have the waves and the surf rolling in, and you'll walk down to where the waves have retreated to, and then the horse is standing there, and then you'll have a set of waves that'll come in. And so basically, it feels like the waves and the water are actually kind of approaching and consuming the horse's feet versus him stepping into the water. And it turns things on its head, right? And so with a little muss and fuss and finally getting him in the water, I was able to walk down up the beach to the north, and the water was washing in around his feet from the left-hand side. And we just kept on going there, and I was going in and out of the water, having the water wash around his legs and retreat back into the ocean, and everything was completely fine and almost, enjoyable and relaxed. And at some point, you have to turn around and go home, right? And so when I turned the horse around and I presented his right-hand side to that same ocean, that same beach, that same water that I had been walking through for the better part of 15-20 minutes, it was like I was starting over from scratch, because he was seeing it from his right hand side, and it was like he'd never seen it before, and he didn't know what to make of it. And so we had to repeat the process of pushing him into the water, making him comfortable, basically, do what I tell you to, it'll be fine. And then he was fine with it, and we came back. And then I turned around and I started back north again. And again, although it was a shorter period, when the water was presented to his left eye, going, back north up the beach, again, it was like a new experience for him. And so when you're trying to get a horse used to doing something, let's say you're walking down the street and there's a spooky bag of trash or something like that, it's fine to ride by it, and you've gotten the success, but you need to turn around and approach it from the other side, and it really does make a difference, because their perception and the way they see from one side to the other is completely different, and it's processed through the brain completely different. Just like that book, Drawing with the Right Side of the Brain, and they take the two images and they put them together and they process it as one. Binocular vision of a horse, they see, one full side with one eye and one full side of the other. And so you're literally training both sides of the brain when you go and teach them to be comfortable with an object. So pass it on your right, turn around. You'll probably have to go through all of the steps that you went through getting past it in the first place on the left-hand side, and just go until he's comfortable, she's comfortable with either, and you'll have done a complete job of working through the problem. That's all I have for today. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you later.